Alright, this is just going to be a very quick and simple beginner's guide to Cody. Let's say you're, bronze to gold rank and you just picked up this character, you don't know what to do with them. Just a couple of simple things. This is not going to be exhaustive. This is just going to be, what do I need to do to function on this character and get to gold ranks, maybe even platinum. Just simple strategy stuff. This is not going to be the most optimal combos. This is not going to be the best things that you can do. This is going to be the most reliable things you can do. And reliability is one of the most important things you can do to rank up in the early ranks. The first thing I want to get through is this combo right here. This is simply standing medium, punch, and light ruffian. This can also be a crouching medium, but crouching medium has slightly less range than standing medium. So if you're looking to autopilot a combo, standing medium is going to be the one that's more likely to hit. So why is this combo so good for beginners to learn? Well, first, if you land the standing medium kick, you're always going to be safe. If we put the dummy on block, actually let's put him on a random just to demonstrate how good this is. So if you're fishing for hits, you don't know if it's going to hit or not. On block, this is +3. If you don't know what frame data is, basically that's how long the game moves at 60 frames a second, and moves take a certain amount of time to come out before they'll connect. For example, this sweep obviously takes more time to come out than this punch. This punch is your fastest button. This is the fastest move that you can do damage with, and it takes 4 frames to come out. So when I use this standing medium kick, it leaves me +3. That means I have 3 frames where I can act where they can't. So in theory, if they block my standing medium kick and then I punch, they have 1 frame to act, and there's no move in this game that comes out in 1 frame. So you would always win. Let's take this a little bit further. Crouching medium punch takes 6 frames to come out. So with the extra 3 that I get from a blocked standing medium kick, they would basically have to press a button that comes out in 3 frames or faster to beat me. That move doesn't exist. There are 3 frame buttons in the game, like Ryu's jab is 3 frames, but it's a jab and this is a medium punch. The stronger button in a tie will win. So their 3 frame light punch beats my comes out against my effectively 3 frame medium punch. My medium punch will win and it will counter hit. So by doing this string of standing to medium, if they block if the first one hits, great, you get to do the combo. If it's blocked and you just autopilot into the crouching medium punch, it's always going to be safe. Worst case scenario, they'll block both of them like that. I'm still +2, so I'm safe. They can't react faster than I can. And now we're at a safe distance. If your reactions aren't super tight, this also means that you don't have to worry about reacting to the medium punch and then doing a ruffian. Like, I can't even reliably react to a medium punch on hit, just a single button. But because this always combos, if you land the first one, the second one's always going to come out. So then you can prepare the light ruffian. And if not, just don't go through with the combo, because light ruffian raw is -8. They have 8 frames to attack before I can block, and that means I'm super unsafe. Pretty much every maximum damage punish combo can come out in 8 frames, so don't do light ruffian raw. An option you could do is do a tornado sweep instead. This is mostly safe. And if they block the entire string, like if you see that they block the first one, you can just autopilot the tornado sweep instead, because it'll hit if it combos, and if you mess up, it's not that big of a deal. So it's not as much damage as a ruffian, you don't get the knockdown, but you still get something. And if they block it, it's just chip damage. And if they try to press buttons after your medium kick, and your medium punch catches them, then they get hit with a tornado, so it's still a little combo. So basically, a lot of words to say, your combo, your thinking should be, I'm going to test with medium punch, medium kick, medium punch. And then based off of what happens on medium kick, I'm either going to end with a tornado sweep after my medium punch, or if it hits, I'm going to end with a light ruffian. So, blocked, okay, I would do a tornado there. Here's what this looks like in practice. So when it was blocked, tornado. When it was hitting, medium or light ruffian. So why light ruffian? This is mostly just because it gives you the best positioning for additional follow-ups. So anytime you knock somebody down with light ruffian, you can immediately do a forward dash. And worst case scenario, if they get up in place, which is the fastest way to get up, you're +2. So it's still effectively your turn. If they do a back roll, let's just set them to back roll just so we can reliably get this out. I'm +5 and point blank. I'm right up in their face. I have 5 frames to do whatever I want. And you know what that thing I can do, given anything else I can do, is going to be? It's another medium kick. This button comes out in 7 frames. That means they'd have to do a 2-frame or faster button to do something about that, which, again, doesn't exist. And you can win games by simply pressuring with these simple buttons and taking opportunities when you get them. Now, in order to do this, you need to be comfortable walking up to people, which is totally fine for Cody because his forwards walk speed is incredible. Compare how long it takes me to walk back versus walking forward. Like, Cody confidently walks forward because he knows he's fast, and a fast forward walk speed means you can approach pretty quickly. I can be in this range where they can't reasonably threaten me and I can't really reasonably threaten them, and then very suddenly be up in their face with a medium kick. So that's enough about the medium kick, medium punch, ruffian combo. What's something else that you need to do? Well, at far ranges, and I'm talking really far, not this far, but like this far, feel free to throw tornadoes. Throwing fireballs is always a good choice from far ranges where you need to get in. One of the best things that you can do at this point with a simple game plan is to use EX Tornado Sweep. It moves slowly, and you can walk it in like I just did. So EX Tornado, you can walk it in, and if you're really confident, you can dash in with it, and you can even get ahead of it. So what makes this so great? Well, for one, it functions as a 3-hit fireball, though it only has 2 hits by itself, I believe. So when you throw out a fireball and they throw out a fireball, they collide and then they dissipate. You might have seen that an EX fireball from Ryu, for example, has 2 hits. So if you try to throw your own fireball, 1 hit gets eaten by yours, but then it keeps going. Most EX projectiles have 2 hits to collide in midair like that. Cody's Tornado Sweep, EX Tornado Sweep has 3. So this always beats other projectiles and keeps going. This is one of Cody's best tools to cover his approach, but because it takes a little while to throw it, you don't want to approach like this. This doesn't get you anything special because like I'm not able to take advantage of that really. Like I can tack on another hit, but if I do it at this range, they could jump over this very easily. Again, this is for situations where they're on the other end of the screen. Let's say they're like a zoner character, like Dalsim or whatever, or they're playing keep away and they're not letting you get in. This will cover you. The Tornado Sweep just keeps going. It has infinite range. It doesn't dissipate after a certain range. It goes until it hits something or goes off screen. So walking in Tornado Sweeps is fantastic. Another important thing that you need to do is be able to react to a jump in. Especially at lower ranks, everybody is always jumping, which is a bad habit. You should not always be jumping. But let's set Ryu to do something that a lot of bronzes will do. And we'll just have him block. And walk back. So he's just gonna keep doing that now. So when somebody jumps in on you, just be ready to standing heavy punch. This just almost always works. I was a little early there, which is my mistake. This button is amazing. Look how like upwards it is. Look how tall it is. This is a great button. Now, if they're really close to you, they'll jump over it, and that's an issue. And usually at this range, they're expecting to cross you up, and that's going to be a problem. For those ranges, your other anti-air is going to be jump back light kick. So basically, if they jump and they're close to you, jump back light kick. Typically in situations where somebody's jumping over you, it's because they're in the corner and they want to get out. You should take advantage of your cornering positioning by doing your best to keep them in that corner. So if you're close and they're trying to get out, don't let them get out. Another option is to use medium punch. However, it's slower and it's better if you're jumping at them because then you get the air target combo. But for now, we're just trying to keep things super simple. Standing heavy punch is your anti-air. There are better anti-airs. If you are able to do a ruffian to anti-air, great. That's obviously more damage and generally get more out of it. And you launch them further back so you can get corner positioning better if it's a mid-screen jump in. But like I just did there, I wasn't fast enough to do the heavy ruffian. And I either ate an attack or they got past me. The best thing you can do is something rather than nothing. The final important piece of the puzzle for beginners is using EX zonk knuckle. To zonk, you have to hold down one of your punch buttons for at least half a second and then let go of it. This can be any of your punch buttons, but while you're holding down that button, you lose access to it. I can't light punch right now, because if I have the button down and to let go, the zonk comes out. If you're holding zonk for more than 5 seconds, you get level 2 zonk, which has a different sound and hits harder and has more additional effects. We're not really going to be worried about level 2 zonk right now, but it's just something that you might see that can happen. So why am I talking about EX zonk? EX zonk is another great way, sort of like tornado sweep, because before I talked about how you can use EX tornado sweep to walk in, EX zonk is another great way in. For a lot of the same reasons that tornado sweep is great, which is safety and just letting you get in their face, which Cody, if you haven't noticed, can't really do a whole lot at range. So EX zonk is done by holding down 2 punch buttons. They can be any 2 punch buttons. It doesn't have to be any given one. It's just whatever one you don't feel like you'll need. Light punch, you always want light punch available at close range because that lets you do your jab, which is a very reliable quick button. It's your fastest button. It also lets you throw, which is super important for either teching or initiating your own throw. So at close range, sacrificing your light is not a good idea. At medium range, depending on your V skill, you might want sway for fireballs. And you might also want your medium punch for poking. And you're also going to want your heavy punch for anti-air. So generally, up close, if you're holding heavy punch and light punch, heavy and medium, you're pretty good because you can pressure with your throws and jabs and then have your zonk ready. So EX zonk is crazy. Alright, disregard that little attempted combo there. On block, you're +3. So again, you're safe. And you're in their face. On hit, you'll knock them down, and you'll get some damage in. Alright, so I should be using all these blocks for demonstrations here. So on block, you're +3. Immediately afterwards, you can do one of 2 things, pretty safely. You can attempt to grab, you have to do a little micro walk in. Or you can do a crouching medium punch, which again comes out in 6 frames, but you have +3 on your side, so it's effectively a 3-frame medium. This is functionally safe pressure. On hit, you saw that I always dash forward because it puts you close up and you're +15. Which, reminder, you can use this as opportunities to use their standing medium kick pressure that we learned earlier. The idea of Cody's pressure, or really any character's pressure, is once you get a hit, getting a hit should be seen as the hardest thing that you have to do. It's the hardest part of playing a fighting game, is just landing a hit. But once you have a hit, you should take as much advantage of that hit as possible. You should set yourself up for another hit. More pressure. Take any advantages that you get and turn them into more advantages later. They don't need to be in the same combo. They can just be part of a pressure string. Just creating opportunities for yourself in the future is great. So so EX Zonk and all these moves aren't necessarily just about the hit that you're getting. Because this, we're back at like starting this. I think this is actually literally the exact same distance as if we just started out. So when I get an opportunity, move forward, take advantage of the opportunity, get in their face, go to places where you can do things, and keep getting additional hits. This is also to say, no win, it's your turn. Now, that pressure string I was showing before, if you just immediately go for pressing more buttons at this range, you're gonna get counter hit. Because when this string resolves, your turn is over. You can't take your turn from here. You have to reset and find another way in, which is, again, usually just careful positioning, walking, blocking, getting in somehow, getting a throw in, these kinds of things. Yeah, and then if you find yourself in a situation where you're at full meter because you haven't had to use Tornado Sweep or EX Zonk to get in, using your standard bread and butter combo, and with a medium kick into another quarter circle forward to punch, gives you critical art. That's a nice juicy use of damage. Juicy use of meter to get damage. You go from 210 to, was it like 400? Yeah, you basically, it's as if you landed another one of these pressure strings. Please don't do this though off of the light ruffian, because they get knocked down and they're invincible once you knock them down. So this will never hit. So you always want to end with medium or heavy. Something important to know about heavy ruffian though is if they are crouching, this will never hit. You can't hit a crouching enemy with a heavy ruffian. It just goes right over them. This is another reason why I suggest using light ruffian instead of medium, for example, because medium does more damage, but you get less off of it. Just as an example, let's do the string. I'm only +2 in their face, and +2 is not as good as being +3, especially since Cody's fastest button is 4, and usually for all practical purposes your fastest button is generally a 6 frame. Cody needs every frame he can get because his normal buttons aren't quite as fast as characters like Ryu. So yeah, just some food for thought. Medium does do more damage in the short term, but in the long term, I can get more off of the pressure that I got. So it's a difference of about 16 damage to do a medium ruffian versus a light one. But again, future gains, I can get more off of another opportunity. I didn't even touch V-trigger stuff. Honestly, one of the best uses at early ranks for V-trigger, if you're not used to the combos that Cody's V-triggers have, one of the best things that you could honestly do with your meter is just use V reversals. If somebody's up in your face and they're taking their turn, feel free to use V reversal. So first of all, it gets gray damage in. If it hits, it does gray damage. 60, and that's a future gain. That's a future gain we're talking about. If I get that jab in, it's 30 plus the 60 I did, because gray health recovers over time, but they take it as soon as they take any damage. V-shift is another amazing use of meter. If somebody's up in your face and you don't want them to be, there's your solution. If Ryu throws a Hadouken, that's a way through. Against grapplers, if you're up against like Laura or Zangief and they're up in your face, you don't want to be immediately up in the face of grappler, unless you're the one that's pressing the buttons, in which case just V-shift out. All right, yeah, that'll about do it. I'd say just those basic fundamentals will get you pretty far in this game with Cody. I kind of rambled on, but I hope this was useful. Later.